Hey everybody, this is Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World. This is my first video in a series which I will be doing on the HiBoost cell phone amplifier. And let me just give you a little bit of a teaser. This is amazing, but we'll get into that in a while. So this is a multi-part cell phone booster and the best I've ever seen, and I've tried various ones through the years. This video here is about installation and setup. That's why it's just sitting here on my kitchen counter. We will be properly getting this all together later, but first of all, I wanted to get the thing working before I decided where everything would be permanently mounted because, well, the reason for that will be apparent soon, but everything needs to be figured out. So I'm going to take a lot of the guesswork and questions out of the whole setup for you in this video. Now, for those of you who are just watching my daily videos and are not interested in the assembly, you can skip the outdoor part. Now, so let's go outside and start on the, I'd say for me the hardest part because I was way up in the air. Let's go outside and do that first. Our installation begins way up here on a TV tower that was pre-existing when we got the house. And you'll see something new up there. That is the outdoor antenna. Now, that was scary. I don't like heights. Some of you might laugh at me, but that was scary. And I actually did not climb the tower. Instead, I went up a ladder onto the roof. Be safe when you're doing this, because this has to be at least 20 feet higher than the indoor antenna. And you must find out, there's a cell phone app that you can use, which is best, and it's listed on the instructions of the device. First, find out where the cell phone towers are located, find the closest near to you, and then get this aimed in that direction. Now, what I got here, and I'm going to share with you something that will save you time, because it took me a while to figure it out. There's these two U-bolts wrapped around my pole up there. And there are some brackets that grip onto it. See that brackets, the almost U-shaped brackets on the other side of the U-bolts. Now, let me go around the other side of that and show you something and how this goes together. It'll save you time because it took me a while. The mounting plate of this you screw on to the antenna. And then you'll see here the U-bolts go through the plate. And on the other side of it, if I can get the contrast right, are the brackets. You'll see it when you there's rounded toothed brackets. So don't try to figure out how to do it on this side, put them on the other side. So basically you've got a U-bolt on one side and the toothed bracket on the other, and that's on the inside of this metal bracket. You'll see it when you get it together. But this, look at this, maybe even screen print that. I'm not going to go into details on how I got that adjusted and set up, but that was a big deal for me. And another thing that is important is the cable. There's a bunch of cables on this, and one has two of the same end, and I still have to cover the wires. You have to cover that with waterproofing tape. But there's two of them with this. There's one wire with two of the same end, and that is the indoor one. This one joins up with another, and I'll show you the joint. There's a joint between the other two wires. These are the outdoor ones. I've got to tape this and waterproof it yet as well, and screw that tight. Everything was temporary because I'm still experimenting and testing, and then I will permanently position everything where they're going to stay. Now back inside here, I've got the cables hooked up. There's an indoor and an outdoor port on this. And I've got the, well, I'm not going to go into a lot of details about setting up because the instructions are pretty good on that. How to adjust your antenna and find the highest signal, and so on. Now I've got the indoor antenna sitting here because I don't have a lot of space in my office house here. So I brought it over here for the video. I'm going to put it back where it goes, and then we're going to check out my cell phone and see how good this thing works. We're going to do a with and without comparison video on my cell phone, and then we'll also do an internet speed test with my cell phone, and you'll be quite impressed and surprised, I believe. Now here's my cell phone with the amplifier turned off, and I generally have between 0 and 1 bars on this thing. Hardly any signal, and that'll fade in and out. I lose phone calls, I drop calls. It takes anywhere between 10 minutes to an hour, up to 5 hours to send a photo in a text message. And often to send a text message, I have to write the message, click send, go into airplane mode, and then wait for that to settle, and then I can click off airplane mode, and as soon as it makes a signal or a connection to the tower, which is usually quick and stronger, very brief moment, there's a stronger signal being sent out of the phone looking for a tower, and at that point my message usually gets sent. And that is pretty pitiful. As you can see, really bad, no signal at all. Now I'm going to plug in the amplifier and let it reboot. All I did is pull the power. I don't know if I can do this one-handed. Yes. It's going to boot and initialize. It's an awkward thing to record with my camera. There, we got the right angle. Well, that's a pretty quick boot, actually. I'm impressed. A pretty quick boot up. Now, I am right next to this indoor amplifier. I didn't move it, by the way. I am right next to it. I'll put that back where I want it later. But one thing I want to share with you is the immediate boost in signal. And up here and upstairs, actually, when I have the amplifier set where I want it, I get 4 and 5 bars on my phone now. And the results are quite impressive. Let me move that because I'm going to go up in my office and sit down and do an internet speed test. Actually, just checking the weather alone, boom, it's done. And that is very impressive because normally when I click the weather, it comes up, circle spins for a while, and it says no network. So instantaneous results. I'm loving that. Let me turn off the amplifier. I hit the weather, refresh, it circles for a while. Oh, that was quicker than normal. Refresh, circles for a while, and oh, that was quicker. Usually it can network out, so I'm doing pretty good today. Again, hardly any signal on the phone. Barely 1 bar. Plug it back in. Can't do this one-handed very easy. Be right back. Open the weather. Refresh. Boom. Updated. Instantaneously. Much, much better. So, let's do a before and after internet speed test. I'm going to pull the power. Wait for that to lose its signal. Now I'm going to type it in off camera because I can't do this holding my camera. Alright, I've typed it in. Hit search. And it's still loading. Still loading. Done. Run speed test. Alright, I'm going to come back in a minute when the test is done. There are my results. 0.86 download and 0.05 MB upload. That is really terrible results. And 84 milliseconds latency, which isn't too bad, I think, coming from Toronto server. Okay, now I'm going to plug in amp and we'll do it again. Amp is on. Let's try it again. I definitely have to reposition the inside antenna for best results. This is lower than I had yesterday, but faster than I had a minute ago. Without positioning the antenna properly, I got 2.81 download and half a meg up. Now, here's a hilarious thing. Frontier Internet is the only internet we get out here, okay? And you get up to 6 megs download and up to 1 meg upload. This, people, is equivalent to what we get on Frontier Internet, and sometimes that. This is really insane. So my cell phone now went from being nearly useless to actually being as good as, sometimes even better than, our local so-called DSL internet. Okay? When I reposition the antenna and I set it up right, and again, very important detail, setting up your antenna, your indoor antenna, makes a world of difference because it is directional, but that's in the instructions. I had 5 meg down and a little over half a meg up. I think that the cell phone provider isn't going to let me get more than that up. I do believe that's a limiting factor by the cell phone provider. But I'll tell you what, out here in the middle of nowhere, getting 5 megs down on a cell phone is amazing. And anybody around here that has a phone will tell you that is a big deal. Just moving up in my office, not changing anything else. The antenna is not set up right. 4.3 download and 1/3 up. Still better than without the amplifier, but still, I can get better results when I place that antenna. There we go. I simply moved my phone to be more above the amplifier. The amplifier radiates its signal forward and upward. So that is the results I was getting yesterday. And that, for out here in the country, 5 megs down and 0.6 up is as good as you're going to get with, in quotes, high-speed DSL from Frontier Internet here in the country with their 6 meg connection. That upload speed on my cell phone is now better. That is amazing. That is really awesome. And I still get a lot of fiddling around to do to fine-tune this thing and get it better. It can be better. So guys, check it out. Honestly, I've used a lot of amplifiers and boosters through the years, and this is the absolute best I've ever had my hands on, and just, I mean, like, by far blows away the competition. I actually bought one off Amazon one time, and I was going to review it for my own self. Well, that was before I had my fencing up, and Peeping Kenny Boy sliced the wire on me, but it doesn't matter because it wasn't working as well. This thing is really, really awesome. So, and that one wasn't, it was so unimpressive, that other one I bought myself, that I never even told you about it. So, check it out, guys. I'll put the links down below, and get one for yourself. Don't waste any time, because depending on where you live and the type of signal you get, you might actually be able to cut your internet and just go with your cell phone. Now, if your cell phone package allows you to share your internet with other devices, you could actually possibly, with this thing, be able to cut your internet at home. And we might end up doing that. I'm going to keep testing this out a little bit more, so stay tuned for further updates coming soon. Please like this video. Check it out. Links down below. Subscribe if you haven't, because you never know what's coming to the homestead tomorrow. Talk to you all later. Amazing.